Hello dear viewers, it's Miwija and welcome to Artistic Corner. And this video is quite of an informational video. I don't want to put emotion into it because I know I could, but I don't think it would bring anything good since the situation is quite touching for me. So in 2020 I got badly injured with my wrist, my dominant wrist, my right wrist, and I wasn't able to make art since then. And I was cheating, and despite having the injury, I learned how to draw with my left hand. Then, despite the pain, I was still drawing, and that wasn't the best idea ever, but art is something that one of the most important things, definitely the most important activity in my life, aside from the ones that keep me alive. So I kept going. The injury couldn't get diagnosed because I was in a kind of unhealthy environment and very bad influence, which made me not see a doctor and not seek any medical help at the very beginning when things have started. I suffered for a year. I finally got my diagnosis. Doctors found the very famous carpal tunnel syndrome, and it was a total pain in my butt. It made it complicated for me to do the very simple tasks. Yes, I know I have a washi tape glued to my elbow, and it was difficult. Right now it's much better. I learned how to exercise, how to stretch my wrist, and so on. In a few days I'm going to have an injection, which I think I talk about at the very end. And yeah, instead of just making it emotional, boring and whatever, it's an artistic corner, artistic channel. I'm going to show you some art that I made when I was absent and I didn't publish it because I felt too bad to go back on any of social platforms sharing art stuff. So yeah, where should I show it to you? I don't know. I hope I didn't put it upside down. Obviously I did. So this is very sketchbook, as you can see. It started in 2019. But I still make some little sketches in there. And we're going to move towards there. So this is something that I made while being sick, like during my injury story. Oh, it's going to fall. So yeah, it's on a windowsill on the very wrong side of the windowsill. Hello, little fly. Okay, but the actual things that I was doing, it was, I think I haven't showed this page, but this page. Here we have little sketches. Here we have studies of masters. I know I need to finish it. Obviously it is Rose Draws, one of my biggest masters. Washi tape. Okay, let's avoid hentai on YouTube. And here we have some little sketches. October, never showed them. Flying Kitty. And the most important and the most recent. Okay, so that's a little universe that I worked on. Yeah, this is how I make the first character designs. More of sketches, and pretty much that's it for this little sketchbook. The next one is much cooler, and it's the recent one. I bought it in January. So here you've seen all that on Instagram, because I guess you follow me on Instagram. The right page will be blurred because it's personal stuff. But here you have a little fluffy kitty. Some winter, and obviously I finished a page of little sketches of all of my main universes. Some of Disney, I guess, I hope you can guess who she is. If not, then I'm really bad. Continuation of this drawing. I don't remember what I wanted to portray by making it, but probably a DZ eating somebody from inside. Pretty much depression stuff. Speaking on which, oh, I hope you heard the little bird. More of Disney. The right side is, I guess, pretty obvious and not finished, and the left side is Bella? I don't know how you say. I think I watched it in French. Confession to my little hand. And actually, yeah, it's my hand. I have very strange fingers. Like if each of them got broken at some point in my life, but none of them ever did. More of sketches. Working on my little universes. And this is kind of nerdish thing, but working on my language. Maybe one day I could share it with you if you're interested in linguistic and stuff. Artwork that I'm showing to prove you that sometimes we can do shit as artists, and this is a very bad drawing. Definitely not the one that I would love to share. There are many mistakes, it's totally soulless, and I have no idea. Like, it has a potential that is totally broken. It doesn't work. So here we have some gouache paintings. The right one is the father of the left one, and the left one was the interpretation of the right one. None of that has ever been posted. This is harder to show. Interpretation of spring and summer. Spring-chan, summer-chan. I made a artwork last year, I don't know when, exactly with the same principle. And here we have autumn and winter, right before the last page, which is kind of a liberation artwork that I haven't finished yet, and that's pretty much it. There's nothing more in there. So you could be wondering, how is it possible that I was drawing while being hurt? And most of the time, I shouldn't have. It was extremely irreasonable. I wasn't able to resist, and not having any diagnosis was making me feel that, well, you're okay, it's nothing special, just continue. And I did. But at least it made me feel good right there. So right now things are better, much better. In the end, in a few days, I'm going to have some kind of medical procedure, if I understand well, some kind of injection in my wrist that should liberate my nerve, which should finally allow me to live more of a normal life. Because a lot of pain in my wrist caused me a lot of trouble. I wasn't able to do many basic tasks, and including drawing. Today drawing became something that I do just for fun. No more competition, no more, oh, you need to be better.
Do it! Just do it!
No, it's just, hey, I would like to make something that's beautiful, and that's just about that. So my injury taught me to appreciate every piece of art I make, because I know it could be my last one. Maybe one day I would have to stop, and that would be painful. And the very fact that I can create is something that is amazing. And maybe my drawings won't be as detailed as they used to be, but at least they still exist. I can still make something. It's possible I will come back in some months when I graduate from a school that I'm attending to right now, but who knows? I don't know. If I don't know, then nobody knows. So that's a bit of an update. So that's it for now, and yeah, hope to see you around. I will still do some breaking downs of my masters. I hope you enjoyed this little video. I hope maybe it brought you something. I hope that if you are the one who overworks, you stop now, you stop here and now, and you are going to go to do some stretches, you're going to walk around your home and maybe go to run. Maybe don't run at your home, but I don't know, just move. Don't stay stuck to your desk. And exactly change the movement. I hope that was somehow helpful. Don't make my mistake, please don't make it. It's not worth it. It's better to go slowly and go forward instead of just rushing and hitting the wall. So I hope you had a great time here and hope to see you next time, whenever it will be. Have a good day. Bye bye. Come.